Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going deep underground to explore some truly harrowing tales of caving gone wrong. Viewer discretion is advised, and always ensure you engage in safe, responsible caving practices with proper guidance. With that out of the way, let's talk about today's stories. Caves, as you know, are these mysterious, often beautiful, subterranean worlds. They beckon adventurers and explorers, offering a glimpse into the Earth's raw, untouched beauty. But beneath this allure lies a dark side, a potential for danger that can quickly turn deadly if not respected. In today's video, we will be looking at 3 horrifying caving stories that went terribly wrong. The first story in particular highlights the incredible lengths a true friend will go to save someone they deeply care about. Our first story takes us to the depths of Real Well Cave, located in the heart of state, a place known for its intricate network of caves and tunnels. It's a popular spot for experienced cavers, drawing adventurers with its challenging passages and breathtaking formations. Now, our story centers around 2 friends, let's call them John and Mark, who had been caving together for years. They were practically brothers, sharing a passion for exploring the unknown depths of the earth. They knew the risks, they respected the caves, and they were always prepared. One crisp autumn day, John and Mark decided to venture into Real Well Cave, a cave they had explored numerous times before. They felt confident, familiar with the twists and turns that awaited them. They geared up, double-checking their equipment, their headlamps cutting through the darkness as they entered the mouth of the cave. The air grew cooler, damper, and the sounds of the outside world faded away, replaced by an eerie silence broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water. They descended deeper into the earth, their headlamps illuminating the magnificent formations that adorned the cave walls. They were about to enter a particularly narrow passage, one they had navigated before, but this time, something was different. The passage, usually dry, was now partially flooded due to recent heavy rainfall, the water murky and impossible to see through. John, being the larger of the two, volunteered to go first. He squeezed carefully through the narrow opening, the water reaching his chest. But then, it happened. A rock, loosened by the water, shifted above, pinning John in the narrow passage. The water level began to rise, the murky water a terrifying curtain between him and Mark. I heard the commotion and rushed back to find John trapped. Panic surged through me, but I knew I had to act fast. I tried desperately to move the rock, but it wouldn't budge. John, his voice strained, urged me to go for help. I squeezed back through the passage, the image of John's terrified face seared into my mind. I emerged from the cave into the sunlight, the sudden brightness blinding after the depths of the cave. I had never run so fast in my life, my lungs burning, my legs screaming for me to stop, but I couldn't. I had to save my friend. Mark reached their base camp and immediately sent out a distress signal. Rescue teams arrived, their faces grim as they listened to Mark's frantic explanation. Despite their tireless efforts, the rescue teams were unable to free John. The water level continued to rise, and ultimately they had to make the heartbreaking decision to cease the recovery operation. Our next story takes us to the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, a region renowned for its stunning cenotes, natural sinkholes filled with crystal-clear fresh water, often connected to intricate cave systems. These cenotes, considered sacred by the ancient Mayans, draw divers and adventurers from all over the world, eager to experience their ethereal beauty. But as we'll see, this beauty can be deceiving, masking a potential for danger that lurks beneath the surface. This is the story of a young woman, let's call her Anya, who traveled to Mexico from country, captivated by the allure of the cenotes. Anya was an experienced scuba diver, comfortable in the underwater world, but she was a novice when it came to cave diving. She had booked a guided dive at Cenote Kalimba, known for its stunning light beams that pierced through the water, illuminating the cavern like something out of a dream. On the day of the dive, Anya was excited, maybe even a little nervous, but the experienced guides and the other divers put her at ease. They went through the safety procedures, double-checked their equipment, and descended into the cool, inviting water. The sunlight faded as they descended, the water transforming into a kaleidoscope of blues and greens. Fish darted in and out of the stalactites and stalagmites, a mesmerizing underwater ballet. Anya was enchanted, her initial nervousness replaced by awe at the sheer beauty of this hidden world. They swam deeper, following the guide's light, their breath echoing through their regulators, the only sound in this serene underwater cathedral. The guide pointed out ancient fossils embedded in the cave walls, remnants of a time when this underwater world was dry land. But as they ventured further into the cave system, the guide's demeanor shifted. He signaled for the group to stop, his face grim as he pointed to the water ahead. A halocline, a distinct boundary where the freshwater met saltwater, creating a blurry, disorienting effect. This halocline, usually stable, seemed agitated, the water murky, visibility drastically reduced. The guide, his eyes scanning the water, made the decision to turn back. It was too risky to proceed, especially with a diver like me who was new to cave diving. We turned around, our lights cutting through the murky water, but the halocline seemed to be spreading, the water becoming increasingly disorienting. They searched frantically, their lights cutting through the swirling water, but Anya was gone. Our final story takes us to the rugged and unforgiving landscape of National Park, home to a network of caves that challenge even the most experienced cavers. This is the story of a tight-knit group of 3 friends, driven by their shared love for exploration, who ventured into the depths of a cave system, unaware of the harrowing ordeal that awaited them. This isn't just a story about the physical challenges of caving, but a chilling reminder of the psychological toll that being trapped underground can take. The group, let's call them David, Emily, and Chris, were experienced cavers, familiar with the risks involved in their chosen passion. They had planned this expedition for months, studying maps, meticulously checking their equipment, eager to explore a particularly challenging section of the cave system known as Gunbarrel Passage. The name was Apartment. The passage was notoriously narrow, requiring cavers to squeeze and contort their bodies in ways that tested both their physical and mental limits. But for David, Emily, and Chris, this was part of the allure. They craved the adrenaline rush, the feeling of accomplishment that came with conquering these subterranean challenges. They entered the cave, their headlamps illuminating the passage ahead, the air thick with anticipation. The early sections of the cave were relatively easygoing, but they knew the real test lay ahead. They reached the entrance of Gunbarrel Passage, a narrow fissure in the rock face that seemed to swallow the light from their headlamps. Taking a deep breath, David, the largest of the group, entered first, his body scraping against the rock, his every movement a testament to their careful planning and physical strength. Emily followed closely behind, her smaller frame making the passage slightly easier to navigate. Chris, bringing up the rear, felt a surge of claustrophobia as he squeezed into the narrow passage, the rock pressing against him from all sides. He pushed the feeling down, reminding himself that they had done this before, that they were prepared. But as they inched their way through Gunbarrel Passage, a sense of unease settled over the group. The passage seemed narrower than they remembered, the air thicker, heavier. Then, it happened. A rock, dislodged perhaps by their passage, shifted above, jamming tightly, effectively sealing the passage behind them. Panic surged through the group. They pushed and pulled at the rock, their muscles straining, but it wouldn't budge. They were trapped. Days turned into an agonizing test of their will. They rationed their food and water, their voices echoing in the darkness, their hope dwindling with each passing hour. The weight of the mountain above pressed down on them, a physical manifestation of their predicament. They shared stories, sang songs, anything to distract themselves from their grim reality. But the silence, broken only by the drip, drip, drip of water, was a constant reminder of their isolation. They knew their families would be worried sick. Rescue teams would be searching, but the depths of the cave system were vast, their chances of being found slim. Just when their spirits were at their lowest, a faint sound reached them. It was a distant hammering, rhythmic and persistent. The stories we've explored today, as harrowing as they are, serve as a powerful reminder of the respect that caves demand. These subterranean worlds, while beautiful and alluring, can quickly transform from places of wonder to scenes of tragedy. Remember, these stories are shared to raise awareness about the potential dangers of caving. Always ensure you engage in safe, responsible caving practices with proper guidance. Never cave alone, always tell someone where you're going and when you expect to be back, and be prepared for the unexpected. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. Stay safe and see you in the next video.